Hello guys, it's Kodiax. In today's live we will be coding Snake game as usual, and we are close to completing the basic version of this project because on the last live we successfully created a mm, a snake game logic with exception of one particular bug we faced, which is we actually can uh 1 second guys, just I'll I'll tell you, but one second. Yeah, cool. So now you can see everything you need to see. So as you see, last time we successfully completed most of the logic, but we still face one problem, which is we can suicide with our snake in a weird way. Oh, I guess we cannot now because Copilot made some changes. But to be honest, I don't remember I don't know how it fixed that, and I would like to know. So I would revert these changes and try to fix it myself. Yeah, and game over. Next thing we will do is we will create an option to play again, or we will get back to the main menu. I'm not really sure right now. But what we definitely want to do after we fix the bug is we want to improve the UI, because this UI looks horrible, man. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. And that would be our priority. Yeah, so for the time being, let's see what I changed. So we can clearly see that it added some the like the hook, which is next direction, to compare the current direction and the next direction, because there were problems with next direction we chose, and our snake could, in a weird way, somehow collide with itself, with its tail. And this additional hook aims to prevent that. I'm not really sure how would it work like, but let's try to analyze it. So we can see in this effect, it adds this one a check, which is if the game is over, this effect stops running, which is, I think it's pretty smart thing, because we won't set up this functionality and stuff like that. We can clearly escape we can escape the loop of snake changing and foot and direction and stuff like that, just by setting up this one line. So I think it's smart. Let's accept this. Now we can see it tries to introduce this one hook, which I talked about a few seconds ago. And for the time being, let's try to understand what exactly Copilot wants to do with this one hook. Going to second hook, use effect, we can see for each case we have additional modifications. But guys, something's wrong here. In a way that I don't see all the modifications, I guess. Maybe some of them are here. Yeah, but that's just not important. And this, I guess, yeah, this is just introducing next direction. So yeah, current direction. Okay. Okay. And it starts to use explicit naming because with the next direction it's unclear what direction we are talking about because we can differentiate between these with this prefix current. Now use next direction for the actual move and then yeah, direction to use is next direction, right? Well, that sounds logical, but why do we need to pass it like direction to use and not just omitting this one variable and just passing this variable instead here. It looks like this line is quite redundant, but we see that here maybe it acts as something that remembers the next direction because probably we would need to modify this. We see direction to use as a condition. Now we see four cases. Nothing changes here. Some default conditions are changed. Now scrolling below, we see another dependency added, which makes sense. We see four cases, I mean. If direction is not down, then fuck, I got lags, man. If direction is not down, then we set direction as no, that's actually the line that was removed. So if direction is not down and next direction is not down, I didn't really understand this. If direction is down and next direction is not down, set next direction is up. Oh, that actually makes sense, right? Because previously, yeah, so the core changes should lie in these four changes. In these four cases. Let's try to really understand that deeply. So previously, what we did, we only checked if direction is down. If it's not down, if it's not down, then we can set the direction up. But what we didn't realize, the direction is probably not being updated in at the right time. And to double check this, how can we double check this? Well, our logic was inside this this game loop. I want to see that game loop. Where is the game loop? No, not here, not here, not here. Yeah, it's here. So we updated direction as crap, man. Wait a second. Where is the direction update? So we moved a snake in a way of direction, and what we want to avoid is opposite opposite uh, opposite movements, opposite directions. If you are moving in if you are moving down and then suddenly we change our direction to go up, we are in lots of troubles. So here we can see we decide what the next direction will be. Like the snake as the direction in which we move our snake by direction variable. And we want to avoid we wanted to avoid a potential situation in which we modify direction variable to the opposite one. Let's try if it was the case. Let's check if it was the case, if it was possible even. So direction is updated inside this this move function, move snake function, right? No, this is the core functionality. That's not the problem. The direction was updated inside here, inside here. So if direction wasn't down, then if direction wasn't down, then we could uh, we could set it as up. So technically, that should check if direction is not. So technically, if the current direction is not down, then we can set it as up. Wait a second, bro. I'm not really sure why it was the problem. To be completely fair, I'm not sure what happened. Let's try to understand this more deeply. Hmm. Why would let's see let's try to analyze this explanation. Why you could kill yourself with length 2. Before the fix, snake moving left, you press left very quickly, direction changes to left immediately, head moves left into tail. I'm not sure. Oh, so we are, yeah, the issue is in opposite direction movement, but that I know so far. I need to understand why we actually did that. But what exactly was the problem? You press left very quickly, direction changes to left immediately. Was it possible even? Because here is the loop, which, yeah, let's see. We are moving right, okay? And we are trying to now go away with this next direction variable. The, the direction was right. I'm trying to understand how it happened, how the bag was created. So suppose the direction was right, then then if it wasn't right but it became right, no crap, I don't understand. But how could we change the direction to right if the previous code prevented that in if condition? Not sure how it happened. Let's try to see. So we can see. No. Not next direction, man. I think we can undo these changes, honestly. Because I don't really understand them. Yeah, they work, but I don't want to keep solutions which I don't understand. Yeah, shut up, man. No. Here. Y, S. Why can we set the direction to be the opposite if the F block should prevent this? Oh, I got.
Hello guys, it's Cody
Oh,
X and
3
welcome to
viewers.
my
Hello,
life.
guys.
Today we'll
Didn't.
continue on coding
Sorry, man.
snake game.
Sorry, guys. You probably hear this. That wasn't intentional. The logic actually does work correctly, but but it doesn't work correctly, man. I'll show you. If we go here, I'll show you. And if we eat the food, then yeah, somehow it kills itself. I don't know how. I don't know how it's possible, but it happens. So let's trace through this. Fuck. Do you see how it's flashy? How it's all flashy? I'm not sure if you see this. I actually will check it myself on the live. Oh, actually, I mistook the live. I was checking my previous live, and I thought that was the viewers were watching me, when in reality they didn't. So you don't see this, okay? You don't see this flashy screen I got on the right. The logic actually does work correctly. Let's try through the specific example. Yeah. Oh, I think I understand this. I think I understand how the bag processes, how, yeah, how this bag works. So the issue is I can change the direction. Yeah, I understand this now. So I want to change the direction. I change the direction to not the opposite one. It updates immediately. And only then I update it once again, and that doesn't. And it doesn't. Yeah, I understand the bag now. So what we should do is to keep the direction as it was, and only then to change it. So we can see these cases here. We can see them. Set direction to left, right. Okay. Yeah. But we should somehow. Yeah, how should we implement that actually? We can set direction to another one, and we want to move with regards to direction we set, right? So the proper way of doing this would be to check the current, no, to somehow move. Or no, not this. Yeah, I understand how it how it's supposed to work. I understand what's the problem now, but I don't know how to fix it. The issue we can change the direction quickly to not the opposite one, but then quickly change it back to the opposite one. And that's when the problem starts. So we want to keep track not the direction, but the last direction. And we want to prevent the changing to the last direction. So the solution is possibly the same as Copilot did, because I see no workaround, to be honest. We should keep the last direction and we should know what direction to move. So there is no way to to work around this. Let's do last direction, set last direction, and let's do similarly const last no next direction, set next direction, and it will be a use state of which we will write. Okay, switch move snake to direction. I don't think we should change this at all. That looks logical. I'll just check direction here, and we don't see any changes. So this function works good. The problem is in our stuff like here. Let's move it in next direction, and let's update last direction here and next direction. Cool. So if last direction wasn't down, let's set next direction to up. For last next direction to down. But here we want to move snake and set last direction to next direction, or even before this, set last direction to the next direction. Okay, there's 5-minute break call, but I'm actually so eager to complete this and test it that I will probably sit here until we are done. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And here, last direction, set next direction. Here, the similar way, last direction. Here we want to depend on next direction only, and possibly each time next direction changes, we want to run this. Yeah, that's the proper way. I think the logic is good now. Let's test it. Let's... Crap, I can't even change. No, 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 it doesn't work, guys. It doesn't. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Some buttons doesn't work. Don't work. Crap. No. Oh, maybe they don't remember these buttons. Anyways, let's fix this soon. and see you in less than 5 minutes. Hello, my dear fans. In last, so 5 minutes ago, we attempted to fix our snake movement, and we see it's actually broken now. It's actually like insanely broken, man. I don't even understand how it moves. Well, in order to debug it, you know what we can do? Let's do. We can use logs, obviously. Sounds obvious, but I'm not sure how to implement this properly. Well, let's try to do this. Each time the snake moves, We want to first log where it moves. New snake. Set snake, new snake. And before set snake, we want to console log, or actually after console log, but we want to know the direction. No, that's not actually where I wanted to do this, probably. Case down, new hat, and yeah, we can possibly, yeah, you know how we can do this? Let's try to, the logical thing to do would be to write console log, moving snake in moving snake, and just this. Think it looks smart. Shin up, and we try to move this in this way. Yeah, let's use F1, and if, yeah, fuck, rendering object. What's this even? Rendering snake square. That pisses me off. Rendering, shut up. With snake right, moving snake right. We are not moving it left even. Down, up, left, down. Yeah, what I don't understand, we can pretty easily move it up and we could move it, but now we cannot. Yeah, guys, that's really weird. I'm not sure what's going on. Let's try to see where we, like, our key elements is definitely are definitely last direction and next direction. We operate on these. So, and we change this each time we change the next direction. Each time the next direction changes, we want to reload this interval, right? Yeah, for me, honestly, man, everything looks correct. My snake doesn't move right. Alright, what's wrong? The problem is in your useEffect function dependency array and the timing of when last direction gets updated. Now, man, we should use that update is wrong. That update is wrong, man. Shouldn't use this. So this updates state. Updates state inside the interval. Now I don't like these changes. They don't help, man. So the problem is we also there is a loop, right? We don't want to listen on last direction. That what prevents it. What sets the problem. And we want to, yeah. I think we also don't want this dependency only on next direction. We want to remove the listener. Let's try. What? Doesn't look right. Something's clearly off here. I don't understand how these use effect hooks work. So we see if the game is over, don't move it. Yeah, that's correct. When when we change the next direction, we want to move snake in the next direction each each time, right? That sounds logical unless next direction changes, right? Yeah, that looks cool, but still something's off. Well, maybe. Yeah, what could potentially be the problem? Because we rerun this component each time the direction changes. But we shouldn't probably. What if we don't depend on this? What if we just depend on game over? The final argument passed to use change. Change size? The final argument? I'm not sure. What do you talk about? Right, false? Incoming false? What? What? Right, false? I think we should use all the hooks that can be potentially changed. But that I don't understand. Snake foot, next direction. But what if we tried this? That still doesn't work. Yeah, man, what's going on? Weird. Really weird. So this would run. Hmm. Yeah, man, I'm confused. I really am. Because what is confusing, truly confusing, is the way it handles. Oh crap, man, I'm so sleepy. Huh. Let's try to understand what's happening. Hmm. I'm I'm lost. So let's yeah, the function restarts each time something changes. So, but if we wait a second, this is broken from the beginning because each time next direction changes, we run the component which we don't want to, right? What we actually want to do, but wait a second, but the reactive variables are or updated further or past site use effect. So yeah, it creates a closure. It is fucking tough, man. Okay. So each time next direction, so this remembers the previous state. Well, what can we do with this? We can either update it more like smartly. What if we removed this at all? So, hmm, what if we actually rerun this each time we move a snake? No, it still doesn't help. Yeah, man, something's really weird happening. I'm not sure what. So we change. Let's try to go with the flow. We run this function, which changes each time we change next direction. But that's, wait a second. Yeah, set next direction up. Each time we change next direction, we are adding we are adding this event listener. Then we remove this. Oh, so tired, man. Then when we change the next direction, we will run this use effect hook, which, which changes the direction of our snake movement. Crap, man, I feel lost in all of this. And when we remove this event listener, like we obviously, but that that doesn't make sense because oh, but we oh maybe it does. Yeah, it does make sense. Okay, so we update this direction often, and each time it is updated, we want we want to update our this hook next direction. It should be past, but it doesn't need to depend on snake. But without the snake, we won't even see what, what changes happened. Without the snake. Yeah, but it'll still be right. This game interval should depend on everything, including the last direction. Let's try this. Crap. It still doesn't work. I wonder why. Why doesn't it work now? We update it all the time, right? So when we update this, we move snake, and then we set the last direction to the next direction. Yeah, that's extremely weird. That doesn't work. Why doesn't this? Why doesn't my program, my snake move properly? I don't understand where the problem lies. It's summarizing conversation history. Let's see if anyone is watching now. No one does. Okay, that's what I expected actually. Man, you're so slow. What's this? New tools available. Summarize conversation. I can see the main issue. Your snake isn't moving properly because of a closure problem in your useEffect that creates the game loop. The move snake function inside useEffect is capturing values. Oh my fucking god. Is capturing stale values of snake and food from when the effect was created. Stale values of snake and food. No man, you are changing too much. Yeah, so technically I should relax now, but I'll do just a quick, you know, quick 10, 10 squats and get back because I don't like what's going on now. I don't feel like I made a big of a progress during this life. Well, guys, I'm back. I know I said I would be back quick, but well, I wasn't. Sorry about that. Now let's continue on debugging the issue. Let's press continue button. We can see I don't like these changes. And the problem was that in my use effect, as Copilot says, that in my use effect function inside, it was capturing the stale values of snake and foot, right? I'm not sure why, because I explicitly said that it should take this as a dependency array, which wouldn't make any sense if, unless, yeah, unless it didn't change. Yeah, I see it. It did some current thought. Use ref to store the current state for the game loop. Move snake function. And it says that move snake function captures the old values. I'm not sure why is this happening. Yeah, I'm not sure what's happening. Wrap. It uses ref variables to store. Yeah, it's it's interesting. It switched to references, but I don't like this solution because I don't want to get into references just yet. I don't even understand hooks right now. Yeah, so and it's switched back to a single direction instead of last direction and next direction. So the listener doesn't need to. Let's accept this one and let's undo all the previous ones because I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I don't like how my game is built right now because I don't know how to explain it, but it feels too complicated for such a simple game. You have lots of dependencies here and that's not exactly what I want to do. Yeah, I'm not sure. It says that move snake function has the old values of snake and foot from when the effect was created. You think so? It has the old. Yes. Okay, what if we used other. What if what if we break this large use effect function into other new functions? Yeah, this dependency array is tough, man. I'm not sure how to fix this problem. I'm not even sure why this problem occurred in the first place. If I could only somehow debug it, but this fucking synchronization, sorry for cursing, but this synchronization problem is so weird. I just, yeah, it's tough to fix this. We have use affect function, which takes this array of dependencies and it moves a snake to the next direction. And this looks like it should work properly. But by the way, I'm not sure if, let's try to do this. Now let's try to see. Just, yeah, the first execution is also delayed. So this should be done properly. Whenever some of these parameters change, this should be rerun again. Removal should be rerun, and this should be rerun, which means when anything of this changes, I'll still need to wait. I'll still need to wait this long time for it to be moved. So if I increase my game speed, let's say to 1 second, and I press, let's do it even less. If I decrease it to 500 milliseconds, and if I press the button all over all the time, it won't even move because it can't remember the state. Yeah, and in contrast, if I decrease it, what? Why can't I move it? You can't move it left because something's wrong here. Something's really off. Why can't I move left? I'm not sure. Let's see if it's left, if it's arrow left, if it's not right, set next direction to left. What if yeah, I just can't move left. Why can I move left? What? I can move left. Yeah, man, that's so interesting that I can move left. Let's check what could be the problem of this for this. If it's arrow left, why can I move? Why can I move left? There's a missing break. Keyboard event handler. Maybe last direction gets changed. Let's test if it's the case. What? I, what? What? Now I can go left. Oh, that's because it didn't. Yeah, it didn't. Oh, I understand. Because the last direction changes and my functionality also depends on last direction. That makes sense. So let's try to understand. And yeah, and I can move whatever at whatever speed I want. I can switch directions as fast as I want. The problem is, yeah, the problem was it was re-rendering too often. So now that I understand the problem, I can possibly fix it. Each time last direction gets updated, we should rerun this component. That's correct. And each time it gets updated. Next direction gets updated. I want to, yeah, actually, that's a bit of a concern because we need to provide a current direction to this like game interval. But at the meantime, at the meantime, it gets captured. That's the problem. The problem is, let's try this to compile it as as in my next direction parameter. It is updated, and I wait for my snake to move, for my interval to be started again. If I spam buttons, I want it to capture the 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 relevant value, the dynamic relevant value of next direction variable, even when it gets changed. No, fuck. What do I type? Actually, what I wanted to say is I want it to capture the dynamic relevant value of next direction variable without needing my interval to be completely changed, to be run from scratch again. Not sure how to actually fix this. Just use ref to capture the current value. Use affect, and yeah, is to use the reference value variable. And reference variable could be oh, that looks pretty smart. Current, and yeah, game over. You remove the next direction dependency. Let's undo and try to code it ourselves so that we actually learn, not just blindly copy. And let's const next direction ref equals use ref next direction, use affect, Need to provide callback function. Need to provide dependency array. Dependency array should be, well, the only variable that gets updated and also in which use effect is dependent on is next direction. And the change is quite simple. Let's just override next direction reference, current, and let's assign it to next direction. That's quite cool. Now then, now that we changed it, we can use this relevant stuff here. Let's remove this dependency and let's also try to use this and current. No, ref, current, right? Let's try to restart the game. And if I understand this correctly, that should prevent our game to crash. Yeah, I think it works now properly. Yeah, guys, we finally made it. We are cool as fuck. Hooray! 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 Yeah, cool. Now our our backend works as expected. We are done with this. Now we want create to create a return button, or if game over, you want to render some other function. Well, for game over, let's create a new file. It will be game over tsx, and we instead of this we will render. We'll try to import this component as follows: import game over, import game over from game over, like this. It's not a module, I know that. And let's try to make game over. Yeah, great. Export default function game over. Let's make it like this, and let's return a div class name game over. Let's do it like this. It still complains. What's wrong? Let's try to fix it using Copilot. You should render thy game over. Like this, okay? And inside this game over screen, Well, we don't want much functionality, I guess. We can only create a section of let's do a div container and let's provide class name, I guess game over title. Let's do it like this. No, I meant header, header, and here. Well, I'll get back in just a few seconds, guys. Hopefully not like the last time. Or actually, I'll make myself a cup of, or no, I wanted to make myself a cup of tea, but it's too late for the tea. I want to sleep at night. So yeah, I'll get back in a few seconds. Just hold my squats and sip a bit of water. Hello guys. I just thought I should keep my commitments more. Because I said I will be back in a couple of seconds, and in reality I was back in a couple of minutes, which is not what I meant initially. So here we have game over header, and we will also need class name. We'll need game over. Get back. No, it will be main game over sections. Inside this, we want a similar stuff, but now it will be crap. Why do you reverse changes? I meant to tabulate here. Right, section, and this will be crap. And now we copy, and there will be another section, and we want only to two things here actually. We want, yeah, and we want CSS here. Well, how do we create CSS? Game over. Game over CSS, and inside this, and we'll import this CSS. Import game over CSS. Let's get to game over CSS and create some stuff. But here we will need two buttons. We'll need button. Well, let's actually start from the header. Let's use 3 h3. Oh no. Oh no. It looks like, oh no, you lost h3. And here we would like to have what? We'd like to have, now you lost. And description, we will possibly make it as paragraph, get back, or as h4. Let's try h4. Get back to the main menu, or start again, or play again. And here we will have h4, get back to the main menu, h4, and here play again, have play again, playing again, and yeah, and here we will have a button, off, and we will make it like this. Inside this button, we want to have menu, and we want to have here we want to have a similar button. Oh, and we want to have a class name. Class name equals, but no, not here. It should be like this. Class name equals action button and on click we want to perform a JavaScript function. I'm not actually sure which one. Go back. No, on click handle no, get back to menu like this. And similarly, we want the same button play again. Now we want to actually test if it works right. So let's eat 1 food, 2 foods, pieces of food, and let's try to kill ourselves. And we see this document is hilarious, hilariously is hilariously badly structured, which is horrible, man. It's horrible. And on click is written bad, maybe like this. How do I handle on click? Fix using Copilot. Copilot fix. Oh crap, man. On click with a prop. Okay, this will I'll accept these changes. Accept. 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 Okay, cool. So we should pass it as a prop. Well, that works for me. Back to menu. And yeah, I did write this play again. Okay, now we should use some styling for sure. Let's try to use well, game over. Game over. I don't think we need anything from, or maybe we want to make it a flex, but it is. I'm not sure actually about this. Yeah, let's make it a flex, but I'm not confident in this. Flex direction, column, and gap theorem. Let's see. Nothing, almost nothing changed because this text for some reason is centralized. Let's try to examine it because I don't understand why is it pushed to the left side for no reason. So you go here and game over header and wait, all game over is screwed up because board is a grid and yeah, our game over button should be rendered outside of board container. Let's try to understand because yeah, this is like this functionality is screwed up. Let's try to do this instead. Let's try to make it like this. It should be outside for sure. So unless if it's game over, then we render this. If it's not game over, if it's not game over, we want to render game over. And it doesn't work. Not sure why. Yeah, let's try to understand why. Let's try to fix this and see why, because I have no idea why it doesn't work. Copilot, fix, JSX syntax in your return statement by using parentheses and placing the ternary operator. So yeah, it uses parentheses for HTML. Let's try to close this and try it myself. So we should put parentheses here, right? And here. I know. If it's not like this, well, maybe. I don't understand this, to be honest. I feel lost. Let's try it again. Let's try it. Control Z, T, 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 T. No, actually not. We screwed up this man. Board. Game. Now game over. And just like this. I don't understand why doesn't it work. Let's try to fix it again and try to understand why doesn't it work. EJ6 syntax. Like man, it doesn't. Oh, so inside return function, you don't need actually this bullshit because it's not HTML. Well, that makes sense. So when we render HTML, we want to put it inside parentheses, but we didn't write any HTML. We just used JavaScript, which means we should use the variable as it fuck off as it is. So let's do not use this. And will it work like this without parentheses? You mean? Oh no, you lost. Yeah. But styling is bad, as always. Let's try to analyze if yeah, I know you lost. Let's try to see this. Okay, everything looks pretty normal, but I don't like the way it is positioned. I don't like this styling still. So instead of this, let's try to first we want to make the buttons work, right? And only then try to play with CSS. So let's try to make the buttons work. We can do this by, well, I'm not sure how. Oh, how do I work on my, how do I pass the, how do I get back to the menu? Well, let's try to analyze the hierarchy first. We have Snake Game in the same directory. So we possibly, I'm not actually, I'm not sure how to approach this. I'm not sure how to approach this. How can we approach this? To start the game again. How do I get back to the menu? Let's start from getting back to the menu and then let's try to play again. To get back to the menu, you need to implement navigation between your game components. Looking at your game over TSX file, you can see a placeholder for back menu to any function. First, let me check your project structure to understand how your components are organized. Yeah, so it does require my proper game structure. And it read and it understands now. Okay, so first, yeah, we should create props. Back to menu, void. And we need to pass this prop. Okay. It suggests more changes, even more changes. So here we want to pass two properties. So yeah, we need to be when we want to navigate to the first component, we should send a prop of some of given type from the component we want to navigate to. That looks reasonable. Now this board shouldn't be there. That don't accept, man. But let's try to see how it wants to work with this. And this is the menu. My app is what I treat as a menu. And on back to menu, get back to crap. This is difficult to analyze. So it sends from so it sends from parent component. Oh crap, man. So it's like a bridge. It sends from the parent component go back to menu property, and we catch it inside snake game f- file, and here we catch it with on back to menu snake game props. So we need to define the type inside the child component which receives this. Yeah. Okay. Go back to menu. As set is blank, it's a lambda function which sets is blank false. Okay. And it calls. It says get to menu on back menu on back to menu. But where do we receive this on back to menu? Possibly from this, right? From this one file. And to play again, we implement it here, but I'm interested currently in on back to menu. Crap, but it only what it does. The only thing it does, it sets is blank to false. I don't understand how it will help, to be honest. We can define this one function. Set is blank true. And here we can this is an object. Crap, man. Which sets is blank to false. Really? What does it do? Yeah, I don't really understand this, if I'm honest. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. We'll continue on. Oh, some guy wrote something. Hello, please reply. Hello. I'm in my first year of BTech degree and I want to learn coding. Uh, I'm in my last year of uh, university, and I also want to learn coding, man. We're on a similar page here, but that's cool. The motivation is the key, and then it's all the discipline. Yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you check out the next episode in which I will fix the bugs and in which I will hopefully improve the UI so that it looks more adequate and normal. And we'll prepare to release the basic version of this project. Hopefully that will be soon. Thank you for watching, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.